Hello, my name is Zachary Smith. Today I'm going to be talking about the Arturia Beatstep Pro and how I have that connected with my setup here using the Moog Grandmother, Yamaha CS1X, and the Nord drum, which is back here. If that sounds like something you'd be into, please stick around. Yeah, so the way I have things set up here is just the MIDI out cable connected with the adapter on the Beatstep Pro. That's going into the MIDI in on the Yamaha, MIDI through to the Grandmother, MIDI through to the Nord drum, which, as far as it doesn't, only has MIDI in and out, so that's why that's last in the chain. And then on here, I have the MIDI channel set up. Channel 1 for the Grandmother, channel 7 for the Yamaha, and channel 10 for the drums. So that gives me the ability to just play things here. I did have to go and adjust the custom MIDI map settings for the Nord drum because it has some unique settings there. Then I have the keyboard light up here for sequencer 2, which is this Yamaha. So I can play it on here, or I can play it here. And then, of course, I have sequencer 1, which is the Grandmother. And so it took me a bit to get this figured out, especially with the old MIDI gear and kind of newer MIDI gear, just getting everything to work well and not play the wrong notes. Especially with the Yamaha, I had to go into the user settings, to user manual, and figure out how to turn off the drum kit, which was being triggered by channel 10 no matter what I did. I finally figured that out. I have everything running really simply into my little mixing board right here. This is just a Behringer mix board. And that just gives me the ability to add a little extra reverb if I want, and mix between the channels. And then I'm sending this all out usually through left and right, through to Pro Tools, which in my studio computer is kind of back over there. So I have like a little synth workstation here to just kind of create beats. I'll just kind of play a little bit of something to show you how everything is working together. So let's just start with the drums. Let's try a different channel here. So that's just the Nord drum being triggered here. Then we can add in the Yamaha. A really nice thing about the Yamaha is that it's a digital poly synth, but it has just a few knobs here to make it feel kind of like an analog synth, where you can just adjust the filter cutoff, the resonance, attack and release, and then you have 2 assignable controls here which can be programmed pretty quickly. And then of course you have 2 scenes here, so you can kind of just switch, have something set up and then go switch to a different scene, switch to another scene, and then go back to what you had. So it's nice in terms of just leaving it doing something. Unfortunately, with the Beatstep Pro, you can't program chords. And so, like, a lot of what I like to do is just have, like, you know, full chords coming from this synth, because the grandmother is obviously mono. But let's add in the grandmother. And so I know that so it's nice because the grandmother does have a sequencer built in, but it's a little bit tricky to just kind of like put in something and hear it back, especially if you want a rhythmic part. Yeah, so it's just easier for me, I find, with the Beatstep Pro to use the sequencer here, where I can just see what's happening with the lights. I can tell, okay, I have 16. In this case, it's a 64 step pattern for both sequencers, both synth sequencers. For the drum sequencer, it's just a simple repeating 16 step pattern. But although you can do some cool stuff, and I have it tempo synced to the grandmother, the sequencer is a bit tricky for me to work in terms of having a real kind of punchy rhythmic part. And I do find that if I start a drum groove and then I have the sequencer, then I want to record a sequence using the built-in sequencer on the grandmother, it can be a bit tricky to get it to sync up without stopping it and restarting it. And in terms of like building a track, you know, live, or you don't want to have to, you know, push stop and start. So that's how I'm using this setup so far. I picked up this Beatstep Pro used, knowing that it had the MIDI kind of connector issue, so it wasn't powering up properly. I tried to fix that. It didn't end up going as planned, but I contacted the Arturia support, and they were able to send me a new circuit board. So I plugged that into the existing chassis, and everything worked great. So I'm really happy with that. I do love just having, you know, some songs that are kind of like, they're not finished, but they're not gonna get, you know, they're not gonna disappear. They're just kind of like, I just save them, you know, in the different projects on the Beatstep Pro, and then I can come back and work on them. I don't necessarily have to open up Pro Tools and like record an idea. I can just have, okay, here's a little thing. I have, you know, 10 minutes to put it down, and then I can come back and work on that more, and when I want to record it into Pro Tools. So the other thing that I am doing is recording when I'm working in Pro Tools and I just want to get some ideas going and record as I go, I'll also record using this iConnect MIDI 2 Plus, the MIDI out from the Arturia Pro. That just gives me all the MIDI information for all three things. It's a little bit cumbersome to like separate that out after, but if I really like the part, but I want to change the sound, I just record the MIDI just in case I want to use that using this box. Yeah, so overall I've been really impressed with the Beatstep Pro. It's just so much easier to program grooves and parts with when you can see the lights, when you can see, okay, it's coming through. I still have a lot to learn when it comes to some of the deeper settings. I'd like to get control mode working to control some of the parameters of the CS1X. Obviously, with the grandmother, everything's right here for me to adjust, but a lot of settings are pretty deep in this digital synth, and it can be a little bit annoying to get to. So I'm going to try setting up these 16 knobs in control mode to control some of the parameters of this synth that I can't get to quickly. But yeah, overall, really happy with this. I'm really happy. This is before I was using the Beatstep Pro, I was using the iPad with the Nord Beats app to control the Nord Drum 3, and it just is not that fun to work on a screen to come up with those kind of grooves. It's a good app in terms of like all the things that you'd want to do are there, and it's pretty simple, but it just is, it's not that easy to just quickly be like, oh, okay, I'm playing and I just want to mute the kick drum for a second and then I want to come back. So having everything lit up here is really nice. And the ability to connect like early 90s technology with some, modern kind of stuff, vintage inspired modern stuff, is really handy. So, yeah, I'm just going to play around a bit. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.